for Jamaica.
Good morning, Labourites, and good morning to all other comebacks watching from the far you page. Welcome to another episode of Political Hard Talk. I am your host, none other than the greatest Labourite alive and now the voice of the Westmoreland people. Good morning, my people. Good morning. Now, today, we are going to talk, we are get back to business, guys. See? So, we know a little thing are going over the past couple of days. And we are going to get back to business this morning. Because persons want if we get back to business. See? So, before we get to business, as per usual, big up to my people them over YouTube. You know, continue to like, share, and subscribe. Yesterday morning, this time, I did a live on YouTube instead of coming on TikTok, and that live was pretty much successful over there. I have now gotten StreamYard, and I will be moving operations to YouTube starting on the 20th or the 21st latest of this month. I'll be moving to YouTube. So persons who wishes to join me over YouTube, please go over there and subscribe to DUJON'S World at YouTube. See? Let's roll out the TikTok shoutouts. So Stacy out there, number one gifter. Big up yourself, Stacy. Marvelyn Campbell and Easy Morris jointly number second. Big up on yourself. Fierce, big up yourself. Queen Boss, big up yourself. DJ Maestro Paul, big up yourself and my boss. Active and Strong, JLP, big up yourself. John Road Boy, big up yourself. Owen Rose West, big up yourself. Amy, big up yourself. Good morning to my beautiful wife to be, 1 in a million. Noella, big up yourself. Marvet, big up yourself. Bossman Kenny, big up yourself. Buttwise, big up yourself. Sexy Timmy Boo, big up yourself, you know, girl. Peanut, big up yourself. Aduja, big up yourself. Island Girl, big up yourself. Urgent Fisher, big up yourself. Fido Dido. Yvette Campbell, Positive Vibe, King, and Salah Black, big up yourself. See? Now, couple of days ago we would have, we would have spoken at great length, as to, I believe Alco was on the live and he was saying that, the party need to move to try and do something about this brother here that was appointed to the Integrity Commission. And, it is, I believe, although the party should get involved, I believe it is a charge for all of us, to come out and speak up for our party, and stuff like this we should not allow. We should not allow the PNP to put people in the Integrity Commission to feed them information and to try and take down a prime minister that is working for this nation. See? Now, before we get into that topic, I got a little recording that I want to play. See? We are going to drag on a memory a little bit. And we want to tell the people of Jamaica where Jamaica is today. Because not everybody listen to news. Not everybody listen what is going on in the media. So, we're going to take on down a little part now, and then we will get into into the topic of today. So listen to this, guys. Tell me if you not hear me.
It chose a harder road: discipline, sacrifice, and reform. No oil jackpot, no sudden boom, just while Guyana rockets to fame with oil barrels
give me a second.
and billions, Jamaica chose a harder road: discipline, sacrifice, and reform. No oil jackpot, no sudden boom, just grit. And after decades of economic struggle, something remarkable happened. Jamaica split its national debt in half, reined in inflation, built a reputation for stability, quietly but powerfully. So how did Jamaica pull it off? And what does it mean for the region?
Madam Speaker, perhaps one of the most remarkable indicators of our economic transformation is our debt to GDP ratio, which has fallen from unprecedented levels. When my administration took office, the debt to GDP ratio was over 120%. It is now approximately 68.7%, and we are on track to meet our target of 60% by March 2028. It is important, especially for young Jamaicans, to understand the roots of our debt crises. Jamaica faced two major periods of debt distress. The first, from the 1970s to the late 1980s. And this was driven by two global oil price shocks, a failed experiment with democratic socialism, a global recession that slashed bauxite revenues, and Hurricanes Allen and Gilbert in 1980 and 1988 respectively. The second period of debt distress was from the 1990s to the late 2010s. And it stemmed largely from the PNP's policy during the FinSAC era, which collapsed financial institutions, wiped out the business class, and triggered a prolonged recession worsened by the 2008 to 2009 global financial crisis. In the mid-1990s, Jamaica faced a financial sector crisis, which resulted in the collapse of a number of financial institutions. The financial sector meltdown was not caused by any exogenous, meaning outside shocks or global crisis. In fact, the US, our major trading partner, had robust growth in the 1990s, averaging 3.4% per annum. This was purely caused by bad government, bad policy choices, and poor superintendence of the economy. Listen to me clearly, members. FinSAC was a homegrown domestic crisis wholly caused by the PNP, for which we are now only just recovering. Our debt to GDP prior to the advent of the FinSAC crisis was 72%. The government at the time established FinSAC to bail out the collapsed financial institutions. This bailout cost the country 42% of GDP. In other words, 42% of what we produce in any 1 year, we had to take it to pay for FinSAC. By way of comparison, the US government's bailout intervention during the global financial crisis of 2008-2009 was only 9% of their GDP. So you see the magnitude of the scale of FinSAC relative to the size of our economy. Within 6 years after the establishment of FinSAC, our debt spiraled out of control from 72% of GDP to 130% of GDP, almost doubling. That caused interest costs alone and the debt to consume almost 70% of tax revenues. So just the cost to pay for the debt, the interest, at one point cost us 70% of all the tax revenues that we collect. Madam Speaker, the root cause of the crisis, the FinSAC crisis, was the premature policy decisions of the PNP to liberalize the foreign exchange market in 1991 without the necessary preconditions such as reserves in place. In other words, they went to party but didn't have any money. This triggered a rapid depreciation of the Jamaican dollar and skyrocketing prices, with inflation reaching 80% in 1991 and 40% in 1992. Not having any rent money to ward off speculators, the government then tried to protect the exchange rate through exorbitant interest rates. As a result, productive enterprises, especially small businesses, were unable to service their loans, and the loans became non-performing. Mounting non-performing loans and loan defaults then caused banks to collapse. Madam Speaker, the PNP's high interest rate policy created a two-tiered economy. One where cash-rich speculators thrived while productive businesses drowned in insurmountable debt. This led to what a prominent member of the PNP described as the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since slavery.
Now, when we put that into context, Jamaicans, this is what the PNP had cost us as a nation. And today, they are installing their surrogates into civic society to try and tear this government down, just for political power, right? So, we the people, good morning, Sislin, we the people, of Jamaica must tell ourselves now that, when the brother with the lead the Integrity Commission name again, with the old judgment name again, Seymour Pantan, who we now know is a comrade. We already know that Greg Christie was a comrade, and they are trying to pack up the Integrity Commission with comrades, to tell lies on the government and try to tear down the Prime Minister. Now all of us must come together now in saying that we must not allow anybody that is associated with anybody in the People's National Criminal Organization to go in positions such as these. We cannot allow it because, one, they are already there with an agenda, and the agenda is we know if we tear down Andrew Holness, and we cannot allow that, right? Up till this day, they are still refusing to certify the Prime Minister's statutory declaration, even though he has submitted all of his evidence, pointed out what needed to be pointed out, and alright, that night I'll put 18 plus. Alright, so yeah. So we'll listen to your side tape and then we'll carry on.
No black gold, just bold moves. Unlike its oil-rich counterpart, Jamaica had no sudden resource windfall to bail it out. In 2013, with public debt peaking at a crushing 144% of GDP, the country was teetering on the edge. Default was a real threat. Investors were nervous, and every day, Jamaicans were bearing the brunt. But instead of folding, Jamaica launched one of the most disciplined economic turnarounds in the modern Caribbean. Jamaica began a painful but focused climb out of the crisis through structural reforms, fiscal tightening, and shared sacrifice. And it worked. Prime Minister Andrew Holness tracked the journey in his recent budget presentation to Parliament. How did Jamaica turn things around? The secret weapon: consistency and commitment. Jamaica introduced a fiscal responsibility law, set up an independent fiscal council, and empowered the Bank of Jamaica with inflation targeting authority. These weren't just policies, they were systemic safeguards to protect against political interference and short-term thinking. Here's what followed. Primary budget surpluses year after year. Institutional reforms across tax, customs, and public sector pay. Public-private partnerships to drive infrastructure without exploding debt. Broad social partnerships where citizens and businesses bought into the national vision. It wasn't flashy, but it was transformational. Inflation under control, even in a storm. Inflation has haunted Jamaica for decades, but recent years brought a different story. After spiking to 11.8% in April 2022, thanks to global shocks, inflation dropped to 4.4%, within the Bank of Jamaica's target range of 4% to 6%. How? The BOJ took bold steps, raising interest rates between 2021 and 2022, tightening liquidity, and even intervening in foreign exchange markets. This wasn't easy, but it showed the country's willingness to act fast to protect long-term stability. And now, the Jamaican economy is more resilient than it's been in decades. In 2024, Hurricane Beryl struck, threatening to derail everything. But unlike past decades, the economy held firm. Inflation spiked temporarily and GDP dipped, but stability returned quickly. That's the power of good planning. Jamaica's fiscal buffers, disaster preparedness, and smart central banking prevented a crisis from becoming a catastrophe. In a region vulnerable to climate shocks, resilience is the new currency, and Jamaica's earned it the hard way. Jamaica knows tourism alone can't carry the future. So, the government rolled out a multi-pronged diversification strategy called Aspire, built around access to economic opportunity, security and safety for investors, people development, education, skills training, infrastructure investments, reform of public systems, with a minister charged with efficiency and innovation, economic expansion into manufacturing, agriculture, logistics, and ICT. Special economic zones are being used to attract investment, and public-private partnerships are unlocking transport, energy, and health projects. The real jobs story. While Guyana still struggles with high unemployment, especially among youth, Jamaica quietly achieved a record low unemployment rate of 3.5%. That's one of the lowest in the hemisphere, with Jamaica almost at full employment. But there's nuance here. While people work, many jobs are informal, without benefits or protection. Still, the trajectory is promising. With better quality employment policies and workforce development, Jamaica could turn stability into prosperity. The key is scaling up formal, high-value jobs. Why this matters to the region. Jamaica's story is more than a national narrative. It's a regional roadmap. In a time when oil can flood an economy with fast cash and just as quickly drown it in chaos, Jamaica proves that careful management, even without natural resources, can deliver results. Where Guyana shows the explosive potential of new wealth, Jamaica shows the power of discipline, sacrifice, and reform. They are not opposites. They are case studies. Other Caribbean nations would be wise to study both. Jamaica didn't get lucky, it got smart. While Guyana races toward oil-fueled transformation, Jamaica is playing the long game, building resilience, diversifying its economy, and creating a future where growth doesn't come from the ground, but from within. Chapter 3. In the Oil versus Order series, we'll bring these two paths face to face, comparing the key economic indicators, risks, and returns. It's the ultimate showdown. Boom versus balance. Stay with us. If you haven't already done so, please like this video.
Alright, so, here we have a government that, has spent the last 8 years trying to stabilize the economy and have succeeded in doing so. So, trying to stabilize the economy and have succeeded in doing so. So, what are the odds the PNP would want to get somebody in a position to try and disrupt that? Now, I want to tell you that the hierarchy of the PNP are the enemies of the state of Jamaica. Now, I'm going to say something briefly. See? And many of you guys would have seen a lot of melee going on between us Labourites, in the last couple of days. Now let me just say this, and I've said this on this live many occasions. You have some people call themselves Labourites, and them heart, it ugly, and it bitter. See? Now, I am smart enough to know that a Jamaican, PNP or JLP, we are all Jamaicans. And I realize that there's a faction of us that really hates. When I say hate, them a walk with heart, with hatred in their heart for them fellow Jamaican people. Now, do I come on this live and I talk about, PNP not looking after this country? Yes. Do I hate Mr. Ingram? No. Do I hate Diego? No. And we shouldn't. None of us should. We are all Jamaicans. I have loved ones who are PNP. For the wrong reasons, they should not be PNP. See? A lot of persons don't want to hear them things. Right? And people get upset because we invite Mr. Ingram and we invite Diego and we invite Hugh Richards and we invite a couple people. See? Why is it that we are refusing to talk to our fellow Jamaicans? After the election, we are all Jamaicans, PNP or JLP. When you hungry and you stop a juicy beef, the person who put the patty in a bag round a back, you don't know them what. When you stop a KFC and you buy a piece of chicken, the person run a back where you fry the chicken and a barbecue the chicken, you don't know them what. See? So, let us move away from that, Jamaicans. We are all Jamaicans at the end of the day. See? I must allow room for debate and talk to people them because we have to educate them. It is important that we educate them because it is lack of education. Why? They're thinking the way they are. See? So saying that to say this, we and I, as a matter of fact, and this platform has always been about educating the masses. See? I make a special effort to educate my people down there in Westmoreland. See? Because I know they need it. Right? So we cannot believe, and we cannot believe that every PNP is like that. The PNP hierarchy, they do not want to see this country blossom. Is there an element of bloggers who do not want to see this country blossom? Yes, but vast majority of PNP, they are your friends, they are your neighbors, they are your cousin, your auntie. My favorite auntie in the world is a comrade. Comrade. But when I talk to my auntie and I tell her things what she never know, she confirm. Still a comrade, but she'll listen. See? So if you can get somebody to listen, you might be able to change their mind. See? When Mr. Ingram come on live, I will talk to Mr. Ingram, we get to show up Mr. Ingram misfortunes. We get to show up Mr. Ingram and show him up to the world and show him up to other PNP that what Mr. Ingram is saying is actually bullshit. See? We are smarter than that, Labourites. Right? We are smarter than that, Labourites. I'm tired to tell you now. Am I a tribal Labourite? I am a Labourite through and through. But I am not tribal enough to hate you because you're a PNP. I will not do that. Do I dislike Caution? I do not like Caution. But do I hate him? No. See? I am always here educating the people. And I don't deviate from that. I don't find a mix up on this live. See? And when persons come on this live and them say, MP this and councillor this, I try my best to shut it down. I listen for a while and when I see where it go, I shut that down. As Labourites, we have a duty. All of us have a duty to protect and promote our party. Because it is our party. We just heard that our party is doing the best for this country. And to fix this country and move it in the right direction. No, who would want to see that? See? We have people like this brother here who is sent in by his friends to tear this government down. That has done the hard work. Good morning, Brother Classic. See? That has put in the stepping stones for us, the younger ones, to build on when they leave it. See? So I don't want to come here and have this ugliness in our heart. And when time I say PNP company live and we talk to them, we don't want company live and we this and that. Calm down with them kind of bullshit there. We are all one people. What we are going to do? We don't want to reach a one place where we have my Rwanda. We don't go and look what happened in Rwanda. 1 million Rwandans lose their life from their own people. Take them out because of politics. And that's how no one Jamaica figure. Eh? Yeah, people where have me up through me have Mr. Ingram for my life. Yeah, people where have me up through me invite PNP for my life. Not my life. Huh? Time for we grow up Jamaicans. I will continue to educate the masses and continue to tell the people, continue to spread the message. See? And tell the people that our government is doing good. Right? Now we want persons, we're looking for persons now to write to the Integrity Commission. To tell the Integrity Commission that Mr. Lawrence cannot stay in that position that he's in. He must be removed. He has a personal link to a member of the opposition, a senior member of the opposition. How are we to know that this brother won't leak information to members of the opposition that he's affiliated with? So I wanted to play that clip to tell my people that we have come a long way. And at every step of the way, the PNP have tried, to put a spanner in our spoke. Trying to derail what we are building for this nation. We're not no oil, we're not no gold, we're not no diamond. So we have to do it with hard work. We have to build out our service sector. Human capital we are using. Good morning, Brother Nathaniel. See? To build out the nation. And we must continue down that path. See? I will never accept Caution for my life, that is true. that happen. See, Caution not even bother come on this alive because him know him now come up here. I dislike that brother. But do I hate him? No. See? Same like our government have physical discipline or fiscal discipline, and our government is doing what is right. Us who are, mouthpieces for the government, must hold that same discipline. I will continue to show the people what is right and continue to tell the people what is right. See? That no mean say, me gonna make no guy or no girl walk over me. See? But we must continue to do the work of the government and continue to educate the people, continue to tell the people what is right. There is plenty of things going on in Jamaica today. Things that me and you never born and see. That is strength a big man. Enough things that is strength I see for the first time. Maestro a big man. Enough things Maestro just a see for the first time. And we cannot allow all of this progress to go by the wayside, but we must not allow, you know, the differences to divide us. We are still Jamaicans. And after the election, your neighbor are still PNP, but your neighbor, when you put them play together, the taxi where you take as a Labourite, the driver PNP. People where you live, when you live bad with people, you're there on internet and you're this and you're that and you live bad with people. Suppose say, for example, you go to a restaurant and the chef people, the chef of one PNP and the chef people and say you. And a chef around there share your food. You know, can pies here, sir, or pitting in your food or something. Want to insist to live bad with people over politics. The thing gets so toxic where we start to live bad with ourselves as Labourites. Eh? Because people want to be divisive. Big people want to be divisive. I'm going to calm down with that, man. Anyway, we're going to open up the floor right now.